This morning. Let me see if I can get my live up here. Want to do some answering some questions this morning, so I'm going to try to see about where the live is. There it is. Okay. All right. Well, it's brisky. You're going to hear some noise up at the top. That's the wind blowing the bimini around. Got a good night's sleep last night. Slept all the way there, and I went to bed right at just after dark, but we hadn't slept very much. I'll show you around in a little bit, but yeah, we had a real good night's sleep. I want to also say right from the get-go, let's see, who was it? I put out a request for a ride back to the truck, and Rob Matthews, thanks for responding, and Chad Kolnick, appreciate it. I'm in contact with him. He's going to give me a ride back, and we're probably going to try to get together, do a little fishing possibly. He's up in Daytona. That'll be our next stop. Today's plan is Kontiki, like we talked about last night, is losing water, and we're going to start really focusing on that and seeing, because like I said, when one boat's down, both boats are down. We can't move without it. So we're going to start paying a little attention to see if we can figure out what it is. So, guys, and anybody's got questions this morning, I'm going to answer as many as I can. So throw your question on there, and I'll come back to it. That's why I got the computer open, so I can actually see them. It's kind of hard to see them on there. But so the basic system is we have on our boats, we have a closed system of cooling water, and it's just like in your car with your radiator. Good morning. Good morning. Let me go back to this where I can see it. So we have a closed system, and it interacts in a thing called the riser, is how it cools from the salt water. And because we put some bar leak in there to try to stop or pin a hole, and some came out the exhaust, we suspect it's passing through there somewhere. So we have got to really pay attention to that today, and that's kind of like what we're going to be working on. So let me let's see here. Good morning, Axel. Dan Paul, good morning. Clyde Bishop, morning from Maryland. Okay, cold up there. Cultural Lifestyle and Travel, good morning, sir. Selling Sports and etc. Morning from St. Augustine. All right, you close. We definitely gonna spend a couple days up there. I'm looking forward to St. Augustine. Good morning, Mike Caldwell. Morning, Mike Bruce from, let's see, Ackworth, Georgia. Have a great day today. Thank you so much. You too. I planned on it. Yeah, I know good times is a state of mind, brother. No doubt about it. It's how you think about it. It's how you think about it today. I see you think that way. Edie, holes in the heat exchanger. Good question. Edie, I'm going to come back to your question there. Let me say good morning, Cleveland, Ohio, Michigan. Is it Ufer? Todd, morning from Michigan. Got a lot of Michigans out there. We're going to be busy when we get up in Michigan. There's a lot of people we get responses that live up there. I think it's because it's so cold. Y'all watching us down here where it's warm. Good morning from coastal North Carolina, 44 degrees. Yep, see, we got to stay south till it warms up a little bit. Morning from Jacksonville Beach. And see y'all soon. And good morning from Texas, David Ferguson. So let's see. Edie says it's holes in the heat exchanger. Doubt it very seriously. Brand new heat exchangers. Less than he put them on there, or we put them on there just before we left 6 months ago. If that's the case, and I'm not saying it ain't possible, they're practically brand new, and that shouldn't be the case. but we'll see. I got some suspicions, but we'll see. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out, but just don't know yet what the answer is. But y'all will know when we know. Let's see. Good morning from, is it Lake California? I guess it is, Glenn. Morning, Pittsburgh, checking in. It's nice 23 degrees here this morning. I know a lot of people like the cold too. I mean, we get it. My mountain man Jim Reddick lives up in North Carolina, and he loves it when it's cold. But I done got so Floridaized. It's got to be cool for me. JC, are we having a meetup in Daytona Beach? That is my plan. I'll be looking for probably a public boat ramp. Is what the plan is there. Those are usually the easiest for us to get to. Chad Thomas, thank you very much. Sent an email back. I got your number, buddy. I'll be in touch with you. Meet up around 4, probably right here in town if we can. But I'll find out what the closest place is for Marty to drop me. Thank you very much for reaching out. HMB California, good morning. Scott, good morning, sir. Wow, your feed is better than Zoffinger's. What is it, the camera? It's probably just a camera, I guess. Good morning, Captain Chris. Or good morning, Chris. He says good morning, Captain. Let's see. On my boat, the raw water, this is John F., is pumped through the exhaust manifolds and through the risers, then out the exhaust. The closed system is in the block only. That's correct. The exchange happens in the heat exchanger, the one sitting up on top, is where it runs around it. It doesn't actually, obviously the cooling water doesn't run out. It just circulates there and is cooled by the salt water. So that is where that's occurring. We're quite sure of it, if that's what it is, but we don't know yet. Hello from 100 yards away. Zoffinger is in the house. Good morning from Hudson, Florida, 47 this morning. Yeah, Burr, it's cold here. I don't know what temperature is. I was thinking last night I need to get a gauge and a wind direct. I need a temperature gauge on this boat, and I don't have one. And I need a wind speed indicator. I don't have one. I know sailboats have all that. We don't have one. How's your motor, Yopper? Good point. So the gremlins are gone for right now, and I can't tell you exactly what it is. Notice how we are swinging around. You'll see Kontiki come into view, and then it'll go away. So when I was telling the story about the motor shut off, and I thought it was the coil again, and I had a spare coil, had bought a spare coil, unfortunately, just recently. And I changed out the coil, and it cranked right up, and I thought, oh, there it is. There's something wrong with that coil. And good gracious. Feel that thing jumping like that? I thought it was the coil. That was a pretty good gust. And I replaced it, and it cranked, and I thought that's what it was. And then it shut off again, and then we ran a little while on one engine, and I suspect it's something to do with getting hot, because after we ran a while on one engine, we ran a little bit on one engine, then it started running when I cranked it up the next morning. Sorry about this wind. I'm worrying about my front up there. I cranked it up and ran next morning, and it ran all the way down here, no problem. So I talked to a buddy of mine about it, and I think there's something that's getting hot, and I got to back up from the coil with the wires and see, but I really hadn't had time. It's run. We'll get to it. We are. Fortunately, 2 engines, you can run, you can get to where you need to be. So good question, though. Let me come over here. Good morning from Orlando, Scott. James. Let's see. Ponce Inlet would probably be a cool place. Plenty of room for you. All right. Well, JC, we'll look at that. And that's obviously not too far. the actual inlet is right there. You know, on our next travel, we'll usually move 10, 15, 20 miles, whatever. So wherever that ends up being. So sounds good. Let's see. Chad says sounds good. Depending on your location, looks like you're headed back down toward the Edgewater and hiding out in the cove by Snapper Cut. Well, you must know the area. So I don't know exactly the cut that we're in. I can't remember on the name of it. Although I do know, so cool, last night, or last evening, right after the live, Martin and I was sitting here on the boat just chatting, and I seen a boat hovering, a real nice boat, fishing, probably a $50,000 boat, hovering out here on the outside. And I was looking and I said, well, there must be fans, because they were getting close. And then I seen kids, and I was like, I couldn't see an adult. There was a kid driving the boat. I said, young man. He was 11, and I think the other kid was 9. And I actually have their names, but they're on my phone because I'm gonna put them in a video. But they lived across the way, and seen us. They follow us. And good morning, guys. And they seen us with their binoculars from right back over there. And they got in their dad's boat and came over, and he told me that their dad, they can use the boat. It was so cool. They can go. There's a few miles that way. He named a boat manufacturer, and he can go to Ponce Inlet, and that's as far as they can go. But they were so cool to come over. Very intelligent young men to be so young and on them boats like that. Driving the boat excellently, perfectly, expertly. It was pretty cool. So it was good to meet y'all, fellas. Let's see. James, the city docks are International Boulevard Bridge and Daytona Beach free. Oh, good to know, James. I'll remember that. Hello from Vero Beach. Stay warm, Scott. Yeah, we're gonna try to do it. Must be cold. I see you have a long sleeve. Yes, sir. And I almost put on my sweatshirt, but we'll see. If I'm getting out there and when we're moving over Zoppingers, I will. It's pretty chilly. Let's see. Watching from the Gold Coast, Australia. Simon, cool. Thanks for watching. The brother is creaking like orca's jaw, chasing jaws. That's correct. You hear that? Good. So I actually run the generator for 2 reasons that night. One is to keep it, that's a good time to get, have the refrigerator cold. But another one is it's on the back deck, and it helps to kill all that noise. It's like white noise back there. I'm telling you, because you hear all that all night long. So that's a good point. Let's see. Going to be blowing hard the next 2 days, Scott says. Yep, that's what we're seeing. We're in a pretty protected cove, and I guess it's supposed to turn a little bit more out the east, and then, which means the trees are not even 50 yards over there. We should be even better. So let's see. 2 types of coils, one with a capacitor, without, depending on your system. So mine has the resistor in it, and John, I'm not sure what's. It apparently wasn't the coil issue. I said all that. Maybe I didn't make that clear, but it must have been something before that because I put the brand new coil on it, it cranked, but then it did the same basic thing where it shut down. But it was very similar to that of a coil, the way it did it, at least in the past. And that's why I thought it was that. But I'm pretty sure it's not, because I put a brand new coil on there, and within a few minutes it shut down again. So something hot is getting hot before that, I think, and causing it. Let's see. Ruggs is wondering about my fuel tank size. So I have 2 90-gallon tanks, 180-gallon combined capacity. I have 2 90-gallon tanks. One's on each side in the aft cabin under the bunk, so I'm sleeping on the gas. So I have 180-gallon capacity. And as you see with fuel cans, we often we fuel our extra cans, and we have 25 gallons each capacity that we use our fuel cans. Just to, when we find a good place to fuel, we try to get on as much as we can, so it's easier, and then we fuel from there. So let's see. What are your favorite snacks to munch on underway? Any specific flavor chips? Well, yes, I like, hang on a second, let me see. So I can tell you as good as boat food, and we just done us a run the other day. But Cheez-Its are good. And I like to try different Cheez-Its. A lot of times though, the regular, just like the regular Cheez-Its, these are extra cheesy. These are good. And then I like it when I like it a little hot and spicy. You can go with the hot and spicy Cheez-Its. And then always the favorite, especially on the boat. As you can see, this one is empty. Tostitos, and with the scoops. But I got a brand new bag here, and I got more. I got a couple more of these. Man, after a long day, these chips and salsa, I love them. I think they're healthy. Tomatoes, they got a lot of sugar in them though, but they're great on the boat when you're having a long day, cold beer at the end of the day. Yeah, you're not to dinner yet. That's really good. You go through them though, and then you don't have any more on the boat. So that's some good snack food for sure. Let's see here. David says, Mike, you might have a bad connection on a wire somewhere. I do believe so. And I said it's running. I'll when I get a chance, I'll start tracing my wires back and see. That's what my buddy said. I got a Artie Ray. I call him, and he's amazing. He diagnoses a lot of things over the phone. But that's what he thought as well. Let's see. Let me back up. There was a couple questions that blew through. Richard says, where exactly are you anchored? I don't know, buddy. We're off the ICW in a cove. I don't know the name of it. The locals probably know the name of it, but we don't know the name of it. Adventures, happy of hours. Mike, do you use an anchor bridle? May help with the anchor noise. Yes, sir, I do. Especially if there's wind coming, because I don't want all that pressure on there, but yes, I do. I've been doing some reading, and it's funny you said that, and I actually tried it last night, so FYI, this doesn't work. Some people said take a 5-gallon bucket and throw it off the back, and it should slow your swinging too, because that's the problem. If it stayed due into the wind, it probably wouldn't be so bad, but it turns sideways. And when it gets sideways, and if a gust hits, it's catching all that freeboard, and as big as these boats are, and it snatches back. That's when, see, we're going sideways right now. We're going sideways, and you can use Kontiki as a reference. And then once we get all the way sideways, you're going to hear it. If a gust hit right now, it would snatch it back, and that's what you feel, and that's what you hear. But so I do have a bridle on the front 2 cleats. Get that back over there. But what I'm planning on, where you can see out there, what I was planning on, Tommy, is to go to the next seat cleats backwards from there, put a bigger rope with a clip. Me and Marty was just talking about it, just to make it a little easier, and try that, because some people said that if you go further back for your bridle, then that will help. So I haven't tried it yet, so good question. We'll see how that works. I'll let you know. But the 5-gallon bucket didn't do nothing. and I deployed an anchor, which is not a big anchor. It's just for if we're on an island or whatever. And that didn't work. It pulled that. So let's see. Scott, your message got restricted. I'm not sure why. Did you guys see any launches? Let's see if Zoffinger answers that. I'll let him. We should try to tell the story on. Or it's kind of hard on typing, but so we sort of seen 2 launches. That's all I can tell you. We didn't actually see the launches there. It's crazy, just the way things happen. Chips and sauce and cold beer. Good times, Jonathan. You're right about that. Hey, Marty, turn your radio on if you want to answer. Actually, mine's on. Best device. We got one of the best devices on the boat. We had these little radios, and Marty, he bought them, and they work out really good. So I leave mine in the charger and leave it on, and we'll talk when we're underway. We talk back and forth, instead of on the phone or whatever, because really up top you can't hear on the phone. I can't hear what's being said. So those have worked out really well. Heat exchangers new, then perhaps just a nick in the O-ring following the fresh water to weep out the raw water side. Put some dye, good deal. Put some dye in and run for a bit, disassemble and check for dye in the raw water side. Very good point. This man knows what he's talking about. Scott Davis, another friend of ours mentioned that to Marty, and he, we were just talking about it yesterday. We just don't have it out. When I go to the truck, I got to run back for a day or 2 for the funeral, but I'm going to get some dye, and that's exactly what we're going to do. This morning, we're just sort of going to kind of look for really get real close looking for any leaks. I'm not sure if we'll disassemble them this morning, but that is our next thing, to try and determine whether the dye ends up in the bilge, possible leak, and or just going out. And then we'll keep diagnosing from there. We'll keep you updated on what's happening. Let's see. Good morning, Kayak 7C. So there was a question for you. Did you see, what was it? Did you respond to that? Let's see. What was it? We got Marty. He's sort of live with us.
If I saw launches,
yeah, listen. All right, y'all. All right, here you go. Let him tell you his story. Go ahead.
I got up in the morning, and just before the launch, I checked the SpaceX feed, and I was watching it online. And as I was watching it, I feel this rumble, and I realized that's from the rocket. Oh, dang it. So I run outside, and the rocket is already well up in the air because it took a while for the sound to get to me. So what happened was there was a lag in the feed on the SpaceX website, and I missed the initial launch, seeing it, all the fire and everything. So I got to see some of it flying up in the air, but I missed it taking off from the pad, which was the most exciting part. So, womp.
Yep, so there you go. And that's basically what happened to us on the first part. And the first time when we were at, is it Melbourne where the bridge were? Kayak 7Cs, you remember. We heard the rumble, and we got up early for that so we could get out and get an unobstructed view, which I don't think we could have seen it anyways because of the fog. We couldn't, and we noticed we seen the rumble, and you looked up, you didn't see it right away, but then we seen it once it was up above the fog, and then we seen the booster falling back. That was really cool. But same problem I had is that particular thing I got on mine app is jacked up because it had a lag, and we basically missed it. It was saying, as I remember, something about like there was an hour left. Like when you pull it up, I hit it that morning. It was like there was an hour left. I'm thinking, oh yeah, got plenty of time. No, it shot right after that. Let's see. Good question though. Crab chips, UTZ Crab James. I hadn't heard of them. Chips and salsa and beer. Yep. Okay, let's see. Good question here. Backcountry Pipe. Do you guys enjoy any boat drinks besides beer, rum, or anything? Curious to see your drinks of choice. All right. Oh, my club members, we're here to answer your questions. Stand by. So, you wouldn't be a pirate if you didn't have some rum aboard. Arr, I'm a pirate, I say. So this is my brand. I don't drink it a lot, to be honest with you, but I like Admiral Nelson's coconut rum, and I just do a nice Coke and rum. That's usually got ice on the boat, and yeah, some evenings I drink. Usually, to be honest with you, I only drink usually 3 or 4 beers, if that'd be about the max. And if I have a couple, like if I'm drinking rum and Coke, I only have a couple of them. So my philosophy, and this is my philosophy, is on the boat, you got to stay in control of what you're doing. This is not a place you can get. You know, I've seen people, they'll get tore up on boats. And that's crazy, because if something happens, like if my anchor broke loose right now, I got to deal with that situation. And then legally, you got to be able to handle your boat. So I'm always want to be in control. And this is just my philosophy. I tell people this is, those of you, if you don't know, I am a Christian, but I believe that there's nothing wrong with drinking, long as the Bible talks about not being drunk. And that's where the trouble always comes, is when you get drunk. And I hadn't got drunk since I was a kid, and you know, a young man or whatever. Hey, that just makes you feel bad and whatever. But then that's where the trouble comes from. I don't think there's anything wrong with a couple beers in the evening, a few beers in the evening, or a couple of drinks, as long as you're totally in control of yourself. And that's the way I look at it. So when I'm on the boat, you'll never see me drunk, ever. I don't want people on the boat. Like in the future, we're gonna have people coming. I don't want people drunk, because it's a safety issue. You can get hurt on here. These boats can be a blast, but they can be very dangerous as well. And usually all the really bad accidents that we see happening, it comes from people that are just drunk, and they got on there and just went crazy. I don't know, you know, you got to save that stuff for land if you choose to do that. I don't think it's safe on land as well. So that's just my opinion, guys. So good question, backcountry. That's a little bit what I do. Yeah, good point. Zoffinger said that y'all see the tide rips through here and causes a lot of it too. So that was a very good point. Yesterday, it was weird. The current had us beam to wind yesterday. At one point, the wind was still going out of the north down through this bay, but we were beamed because of the tide was pushing us back. So that can be in a big area, that can be super uncomfortable, man. That's like, that can be like, I'll tell you a quick story in a second, but that is what's happening here a lot of the time. When you get in an area, you're thinking about anchorages, you got to think about tide too, because if you're in a tight area and it's ripping through there, it's going to wreak havoc on you, that's for sure. So a quick story, I was coming back from the Keys in 2019, and I was coming by myself because there was a hurricane coming, and the people that I had lined up couldn't, change their schedule. So I had to leave. Matter of fact, they tell you at the marina, FYI, if you didn't know this, that you got to clear out the marina when a hurricane's coming, because they don't want your boats damaging their, pylons and all. So knowing that I don't run fast, when I talked to the marina, she said, well, if it stays on track, it's like 3 or 4 days from now, you're going to have to leave the marina. So I looked at the track and I said, well, in order to get to Tampa, I got to go now. So it's a week early, right? So I leave a week early. Well, long story short, getting if you look on Florida, right at the very tip of Florida, when you pass from the Keys to what's called the Florida Straits and you get up, there's these three little indentions. If you look on the map, you'll see what I'm talking about. And so when I crossed the Florida Straits, which is always interesting, crossing that big body of water, and I got to the other side, it was the end of the day, and I was tired, and I was like, well, this would be a good place. Get in behind one of them indentions. There was a little bit of wind coming, and I'll be fine. That'll be a good place for the night. So that's what I do. I get up there. I work up to pretty close to dark because I'm trying to get all the time out of each day, and I drop my anchor. Well, that tide situation with that wind, I'd never seen it. And I should have realized because I actually kayaked over the shore, how deep it was right up on shore. Usually what that is an indication of is the tidal currents rushing in and out of there. And man, that thing had me turned to the waves. The wind was coming in, but the tide was holding me, the current was holding me. In good times done this all night long. I couldn't have anything up because it was following over, and what a terrible night's sleep that was. Probably the worst on the boat. And I couldn't, in the middle of the night, you don't go try, moving by yourself like that. That was before I had the windlass. And so pulling an anchor by yourself at night, that'd have been dangerous in those conditions. Sucked. That's all I can tell you. It sucked for sure. So good point there. Good morning, Kayak 7 Seas. Brian, good morning, sir. Let's see. Let me just answer here a few more, anything big, and then I got to wrap it up. Try to get a little breakfast this morning, and we're going to jump on Zoffinger's stuff, start working on his. Going to want to do a little bit of touring. Marty's already got a chance to go to the islands over here, walking the dogs, and there's some cool little spots. We'll get some video about that for you. Not sure if you covered this, Tony Simons. You and Marty are happy with the new anchor motors and mechanics who installed them. Are there any problems you have in any typical part of the shakedown process? Well, we were the mechanics that installed them, so we can't get mad at anybody else. We're having little motor issues with Kontiki. The motors are running fine. We're having a water issue. You probably missed all that, but we're working on it. Stay tuned and you'll find out. Other than that, the motors have been running pretty solid. They're doing good. They're doing just what we expect. Long as there's nothing internal here issue, and we don't think there is, but so don't let me get you freaked out about that. But I'm happy with the mechanics. Let's just say that. Actually, is there a term for folks that do the loop, like shellback for crossing the equator? I'm not sure. I'm not sure that would be the sailboaters though. There's a little gust. That'd be the sailboaters, and I'm sure they do. When I'm done with the power, won't be done with it, but at some point I will have a sailboat, because once the Great Loop in a few more years, I plan on going down through the islands, down through the Caribbean, and you pretty much need a sailboat for that. So let's see. Yeah, Kayak 7 Seas said the SpaceX launches are nothing like the old shuttle launches. That's true. Although we were just talking to Marty, and I was talking about Falcon Heavy is going to shoot, and that should be a pretty interesting. But I still don't even know if it's the size of what the shuttle was. The shuttle was amazing. Ground shaking, like feel it in your chest if you were in Titusville kind of thing. Absolutely amazing. Let's see. Gary, thanks for the wishes about my mother-in-law. Appreciate that. Let's see, last couple here. Let's see. Christopher, morning cap, still frostily watching you guys. Dreaming of the day we put our boat in. Good times, brother. Well, good luck. I'll be happy for you when you finally do. I know I follow Tommy. Y'all Happy Hours. If you look on his channel, he's got a boat and he's up north. So I've been really following you, Tommy, seeing like when you're going to put in and stuff like that, because obviously I haven't done that yet. And we'll see. Tommy, if you want to, drop a link here real quick. If you want to follow somebody who's got a boat up north, and when he goes and drops in, put your link there on the thing if you can right quick. Let's see. Here's a good question. That's a good question. Let's talk about this real quick and see what you think, and I'll tell you what we've started thinking. John says, will you be moving the truck up the coast with you, Mike? I can give you a ride in North Carolina. Thank you very much. So the original thought was, let me get a little drink here. The original thought was going to move the truck up until roughly it got too far to drive, probably Jacksonville, and then we weren't going to move it anymore. I'd leave it back home. But to be honest with you, I've been thinking, and we've had a lot of good help with fans and people helping us out. So I'm kind of thinking, because it comes in handy, it might be hour trips, but I'm kind of thinking to keep trying to move it up. I mean, people have seemed to be stepping up and helping out. And I'm like, well, if things keep working like they're working, he just said in the North Carolina area, John, and I got family in South Carolina, I got family in North Carolina. That's kind of what we're thinking, because it does come in handy when you think about fuel cost, how much money, like we just talking the other day when we were at the fueling the boats, it drives that fuel cost down for us, makes it a lot easier. And the original plan was, calling out to people to meet up with us with a truck. And so, but long story short, we have been leaning towards help just moving the truck up, and not, maybe a little further in distance, depending. So that might be where we end up doing. To be honest with you, I don't know if it keeps working as well as it has. And so if I'm moving it and I don't leave it too far, let's say 60 miles. Let's say we move 60 miles. That's usually a 3-day move for us, because we're moving slowly. So it's only an hour away. So someone comes and helps out and brings us back the truck. Then we got it. We provision, we fuel. Seems to be a pretty good deal. So I don't know for sure, but that's kind of what we're talking about. Anybody has any ideas, you can chime in. Especially, y'all know when this video, when it drops off live, it goes to the regular feed, although it's in the live category. I don't know if y'all know where you click on regular videos or live videos, but then those comments stay. You can see those comments. So if you want to comment, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. Let me tell you real quick. So y'all know that the Mug Club has still been free, because I'm letting people know what it is, because even a lot of you still don't know what it is, and I get emails about it on michaeljsteen.com. But eventually, this stuff that I'm going over and answering all these questions and doing all this is really for Mug Club members, people that are helping out. They join, they buy a mug from the website, and then they'll really be the only ones on here. Now, what I will do, what I'm planning is, and y'all give me some feedback on this, is doing mug clubs Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And the reason is, it is every day. Sometimes if we don't move, there's really not that much to talk about. So I feel like we're going to go to the format of Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for mug clubs. And I talked about this with Marty. And then Tuesdays and Saturdays for Live at Fives. And the reason is, the Live at Fives, we were trying to do them most days, trying different things, like y'all know, but we really only need to do one during the week, Live at 5, so on a Tuesday, and then on Saturday, because some people can't catch them during the week. So usually Saturdays, our plan is not to move, so, Live at 5 works well for there. And those are very well received. I know we have a good time doing them, but so that's kind of what the plan is. Those will always be free, guys. You'll always see those. If you want to join the Mug Club for more content, some more of the behind the scenes, answering questions like this, then go on michaeljsteen.com, purchase you a Mug Club mug. It'll be sent out to you. Have coffee with us, and you'll get way more content. So it's an answer to the question, and to be 100% honest, it helps. That's how it helps to keep the trips going. So if you want to do that, you're welcome to do that. Thanks for your support so far. It's windy out there, so when I go out, guys, I'm not going to talk too much. I'll kind of give you a little show around here where we're at. Same place we were, but now it doesn't look near that windy, but you hear it. I mean, you hear the way it's been. So the plan is no mud clubs over the weekend. I'll be back Monday, God willing. I'll be back Monday. We'll do a mud club on Monday. Hopefully, first part of the week is all dedicated to solving this Kontiki issue with the engines, the water issue. They're running, but we want to solve it because it's a pain in the butt having to put water in them. And more importantly, as Marty says, having to worry, is there something, happen? But so far, so good. So appreciate y'all's support. Let me walk you outside here, get you turned around. All up in your grill. All right, it is actually beautiful there out. So that's that island right there. Sun will bless you out. That's how close we are. So if it turns out of the east, we'll be in really good shape right here. I see someone said something about 1995 truck from Home Depot. We have definitely talked about that. No question. I went in, I don't know, that wind's probably going to be bad for you. I'll talk more about that on the next one. But, yep, Marty over there, getting ready to go on take the dog out, I'm sure. Kind of neat. Another sailboat right there. And the wind, the tide's dropping out. All right, guys, appreciate y'all.